Greetings to all of you, wherever you're listening from. I am Commander Bimal Raj, a TEDx speaker, internationally certified trainer and coach, mindset mentor, and a teen and parents coach. In this podcast, The Awkward Talks, I bring you topics that are usually considered taboo or are not discussed freely by the youth, but are some of the most pivotal things that we should be talking about. This podcast is more for those who are parents of teenagers or those who are soon to be one. And this is a very important topic for you. So please listen very carefully. Becoming a parent is one of the most overwhelming experiences. Your heart feels like it's going to burst with love and affection for this little life that has been placed not just in your hands, but in your care and responsibility. We scramble to get as much information as possible to make sure that you give the best to your baby and to be the best parent yourself. From how much to feed to how to burp, how to develop skills for your toddler, how to communicate and show affection, and everything else possible. It is a lot of hard work, but every time they come running to you to give you a hug or a kiss, you feel that all the effort you put in is worth it, and you remain in a state of bliss watching them grow. Then one day, your teeny tiny baby enters teenhood. All of a sudden, you feel you don't know this new person living in your home anymore. It is time for a drastic change for the children and for the parents. I'm a teen parenting coach and this is my pet topic, so I can go on and on about it. But I'm going to give you bite-sized nuggets that you can ingest, digest, and use when the situation demands it. This topic is important because in my parenting workshops, I've realized that most parents don't discuss these things and assume that they're happening only to them, and they suffer in silence, blaming everything from social media to peer pressure and even their own fault as parents. During teenage, the children go through maximum changes of their lifetime, including physiological, emotional, mental, social, and many more. Every aspect of their being is being turned upside down. As parents, we need to be the balance, the center they can rely on, the one thing that is rock steady in their lives. Unfortunately, this is not the case because most of the time, the parents are going through a crisis. They are dealing with a huge loss, the loss of their baby. Actually, we don't even realize how much we have become dependent of their love, admiration, and constant wanting till we lose them to their teenage. The little angels, wide-eyed and full of love, who always looked up to you, listened to you, admired you, sought you out for courage, and kissed and hugged you constantly, is now gone. Instead, you see an argumentative, irritable, moody, unpredictable being whose favorite way of communication is a grunt or monosyllables. We need to understand one thing, that teenage comes with both good news and bad news. The good news is that irrespective of how bad your child has been till now, you can use the teen years for hardwiring positive things like sports, music, school achievements, and social consciousness into that growing teenage brain. This is like getting a second chance. The bad news is that, irrespective of how good the child has been till now, this second chance can also be used to hardwire it with negative things, especially if the teen years are filled with anger, alienation, neglect, etc. The onus of how they turn out lies to a very large extent on us, the parents. To get a full understanding of how to deal with your teenager, you need to first understand what's going on behind the scene, changes that are happening in their brains, psychologically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, each is a topic in itself, but in this episode, let us just concentrate on few tips on what to expect as parents expecting a teenager. Well, to put in a nutshell, you can expect England's weather. What I mean is that you can expect to be amazed, frustrated, thrilled, bewildered, delighted, and infuriated by your teen, often all within the same 24 hours. Now, one of the main reasons for all this is because you are still holding on to that image of your loving toddler and expect the same from your teen. You need to know that what you now have is a new person who is trying to be an adult but at the same time wants to be a child as well. So you will find a lot of contradictions in their behaviors, especially at home. The child who wouldn't move a finger to help out at home or even handle their own things would be a leader of a social initiative at school. The child who would argue with any advice that you give them would happily accept the same advice given by other people outside of their homes. The child who was screaming at you for being a horrible parent and who swears that they never want to speak with you ever again will come to you 10 minutes later and talk to you like nothing has happened, while you are still reeling from their previous onslaught. Now, what do you do as a parent? Well, don't take out your frustrations on them. Stop comparing them to how they used to be with you and keep telling them how they have changed and how they don't care anymore. Now, if you do insist that they be the hugger and kisser like they used to be, most teens will become hostile. And mind you, they are the normal ones. There are some who will give in and behave the way you expect them to be, like the old toddler. However, remember that this will be at the cost of their growth as an adult. They need to figure out who they are and where they stand in this world, and they don't want you telling them these. Instead, look out for the things that you like about your teen, new facets that he or she is developing, and learn to appreciate those. Remember that beneath all that snarling personality, your child is still there and they still love you as much, even if you don't see any visible evidence of it. You will need patience like you have never needed it before. Their emotional outbursts are short-lived, so don't hang on to those. It's just the hormones. They will forget about their outbursts, but not the hurting and scathing comments you might make during those outbursts. Get into their world and accept the fact that many conversation would be through text and their language could be full of the latest slangs and acronyms. Now, instead of criticizing those, be part of it as long as they are not crossing limits. Let them feel that you understand their world. Don't always focus on changing their behavior. Rather, focus on building your relationship with them. Don't try to have the last word in every argument. Don't ever say, "because I told you so." Remember, they consider themselves to be adults. Well, at least at some level. You wouldn't say that line to an adult, would you? Have conversations about everything, and if they have a better reason for wanting to do something, be flexible. When it comes to behaviors, attitude, and habits, one simple way is to bucket them into two categories: life-threatening and non-life-threatening. By all means, put your foot down if anything is life-threatening, but be accommodative when it is not. Let them explore. It may stretch you and your patience like never before. But remember that exploring their identity is one of the most important milestones during teenage. Be assured that all the qualities that you have taught them are all inside your child still. You don't see much of it during the teen years. Your selfless and loving acceptance and understanding is the core of what you must teach your teens. Be the pillar of strength by demonstrating that you are in control of your needs and not begging for display of affection and hugs. Let them also enjoy some emotional distance from you while letting them know that you love them no matter what and that you will always be there for them when they need you. An interesting thought is to compare your toddler to a dog's affection and that of your teenager to a cat. Now, dogs are expressive. They always want your attention, your approval, and they come running to you all the time. However, with cats, it's totally different. Their love is no less, but they will come to you only when they need you, and when you call them, they may just walk in the opposite direction. They both love you and need you, but the way you handle them is totally different. Try grabbing a cat to squish it and they will keep running away from you. Same with teenagers. If you don't learn how to handle them, it can be a frustrating long journey for you. However, remember that irrespective of what you may feel, you have the most influence in your teenager's life. You are responsible for the real stuff like values, ethics, morals, etc. You are their root for all these important things than any peer group or social media. They are tremendously influenced by who you are and what you do rather than what you tell them. Develop an environment where they feel heard and respected and have the freedom to express themselves without any fear of reprimand and punishment. Remember that as long as you keep communication alive, there is always scope to work on a lot of things down the line. So get set and be mentally and emotionally prepared to go on a roller coaster ride with your teenager. Trust me, it is worth all the frustrations, anguish, and disappointments. If you see them the way you should, you will be able to see an amazing adult in the making, and you will be able to connect with them at a much deeper level and have a new relationship with your teen. Now, if you have any further questions, feel free to ask me. If you like the podcast, please do like it and share with others who may have teenagers in their lives. This is Commander Bimal Raj, and I will be back with another awkward talk next week.